Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to Real Estate Confessions, where real estate cultura and generational wealth collide. We are three real estate girlies spilling the tea and confessing everything. Yes, you heard that right. Everything. From wild client stories to generational building wins, nothing is off limits here, so let's confess. I'm Esme,
My name's Nayeli.
and today's episode was not planned. Rosalind fell asleep.
Yeah, we called her and she's like, oh, just woke up. So, like any good real estate agents, we're going to pivot.
Exactly. And a notice to you guys, always set your alarms.
Maybe multiple alarms.
Yeah, especially if, you're a heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
Anyways, this episode was not planned, so we're going to take a moment to talk about the real shit no one wants to talk about when you first get your license.
All right. I love it.
Because I feel like there's a lot of things that are just not realistic, especially when it comes to social media, like selling sunset and stuff.
Yes, I do believe that I do get a ton of people who call me all the time and say, hey, I want to be a real estate agent. Because we post all our wins, right? And that's the reason why we made the podcast, because we're like, hey, we want to keep it real with people because we're not always winning. And obviously, we're only going to post our wins because who wants to post their losses,
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think that's just like a general thing in the industry where we're always like, oh, yeah, we won this, we won that. But I'm trying to change that. Well, we're trying to change that and post actually when we didn't win.
So let's take it back. When you first got your license and you started your pre-licensing course, how was that?
So I did my license. I took the class in 2 weeks, I ended up taking the test right away, and I passed. But for me, I already have really good knowledge of the math was super easy for me because I do it all the time, from my other career. So for me, it was like a piece of cake. But a lot of people don't pass their class the first time, and a lot of people it takes them forever. So. I'm probably the exception, but a lot of people do take it multiple times, and each time that you take it, obviously, the longer you take to take your exam, the harder it is for you to remember everything. So I tell everybody, if you are taking your test, make sure that you schedule your test right away after you finish your class, maybe like a week or so after, because if not, you're gonna forget all of it.
Right. And then for me, it took me a long time to pass my test. And it's not that I didn't know my stuff. It's just I'm a really bad test taker. And the time that I went to take my test, because I failed, I had to do the school again. I did it twice.
Oh, shoot. Huh?
Yeah, I failed my all 4 times. So when I went to take it again, I kept failing.
Yeah.
I passed my state one. That was very easy. It was the short one, the only 40 questions.
Yeah.
But the long one, I would freak out. I would see my time and my questions, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm running out of time. I didn't have a good system to pass it. So when I went to take it, I was like, I'm not even going to study because I knew the stuff. I took the class twice.
Yeah.
I was like, this is nonsense. So the time that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take it, I just booked my test. I flew out to Texas and came back. I didn't study anything. I went to take my test.
And you passed.
And I passed. I was like, I'm just
because you were not stressed about it.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, then.
So what did you do right after you passed your test? Because I think that's where people don't know. They're like, okay, you passed your test. Now what?
So after I went to interview a lot of brokerages. I interviewed all the big brokerages. I interviewed small brokerages. And what I was looking for was training and how to be a good realtor, because in school they only teach you how to keep you out of real estate jail.
Yeah.
But they don't teach you what you should be doing every day to be a successful agent. So when I was interviewing these brokerages, that's what I was seeking. How are you going to help me grow? And how what tools are you going to give me in order for me to be a top producing agent?
So for me, honestly, I thought that they did a terrible job of really setting expectations for the school, because honestly, after I passed my test, I was I knew that I had to interview with different brokerages, but I really didn't know what being a real estate agent actually entails. Like, you sell houses, how hard could it be? Like, honestly, so I actually was like, when I interviewed for brokerages, it to me it was like what was most convenient and what the split was. Because I really honestly, like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna make it work. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But I didn't even know what a real estate agent really did. I'm like, oh, you open doors, like you go to closing, like. So I think that maybe I unless they went through it in class and I wasn't paying attention, but I think they could have done a better job of saying, hey, like, you're gonna go out, and the hardest part in being a real estate agent is not being an agent, but actually getting leads, people who want to hire you over other people, because there are more real estate agents than houses to actually sell, and people don't prepare you for that. They're just like, hey, you sign up, you get all this recognition, you post it on Facebook, everybody likes it, but guess what, not all those people are going to hire you. Even if they love your stuff, they like it, they comment on everything, they're not going to hire you as their agent. And that's the part that people don't prepare you for.
Yes. So if you were, because they don't teach you that in school.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to go back, is there anything that you would do differently?
If I could go back, there's a lot of things that I would do differently, because I'm a little stubborn. So I'm always like, I know better, right? I know more than everybody does, because I've always been like that. But I guess I should have asked for help. But because I was always self-sufficient, I always figured things out on my own. Like, I was, growing up, like, I nobody checked my homework. I checked my own homework. Like, I made sure I was okay. So I always thought that I could just figure it out. And, it always worked out. I got a pharmacist license. Like, I did all these projects leading up until being a real estate agent that I was just like, whatever, this is just another, like, walk in the park. And I feel like I should have asked for help. And actually, you know what? To be honest with you, I did try to ask for help, but I didn't know who to ask. Because, when you go to the office, I was at this brokerage.
Do you feel like it was because of the company you chose?
No, I don't think it was the company. I think it was, or maybe, well, I guess you could say that it was a company, but I think what it is because when you're a real estate agent, other real estate agents are technically your competition.
Right.
You're my competition. So actually, people, when I was in my office, I try to, like, want to ask for help, but people would just give me generic answers. And I was like, they were like, oh, well, just make calls. I'm like, oh, okay, but, like, who do I call? Nobody said, hey, call your sphere, call this, call. No, like, people just give me super generic answers. And because I am technically their competition, and I didn't understand that. And I thought that we were all friends and we were working for the same company, so we would help each other out. And I didn't know that we weren't friends, and that made me sad.
I feel like it would depend on the company. Yeah. Because when I first started with my first company, like, a lot of people were very welcoming, like, well, apart that I had my coach and, like, my little team there, like, I felt helped and, like, encouraged. Let's talk about the cost of being a real estate agent. Okay. Because I got into it and I didn't know, like, up front I needed to have, like, $3,000.
Oh, shoot. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, for your MLS, for your signs, and for all these, like, extra stuff, like, for my office fees. Well, the company that I joined had office fees, so, like, all of that, like, and an onboarding fee, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, the guy that I signed under, like, he paid my onboarding fee. Yeah. Thank God, I've never had to pay an onboarding fee. Yeah. Till this day. But yeah, like, how was that for you?
So, I think for me it was, like, no big deal, because I was like, whatever, it's my part-time, it's like a hobby. So for me, like, luckily, well, my career makes pretty good money, so I wasn't really, like, pressed about it. But for me, like, real estate was like a side job, so it was like, oh, okay, whatever, like, this cool,
because
whatever.
You have to build your brand in this industry to be known. Like you said, for people might like your stuff, but they're not gonna use you. It's not guaranteed that they're gonna use you.
I'm gonna go back to the fees. Just because I think a lot of people don't understand that we pay fees whether you sell or not. So if you're somebody who wants to be a real estate agent, you're like, oh, you guys get paid a ton of money, all this stuff. Like, maybe we get paid well, but you only see the times that we get paid. For example, right now, I just had my first closing this month, I think was like 2 days ago. No, Friday. But since Friday, I haven't been paid from my real estate business since April. So imagine April, May, June, almost July, 3 months without a paycheck. Most people wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. And on top of that, I still had to pay my fees. I had to pay my fees regardless. So people, if you are looking to get into real estate, it's really not one of those like get rich quick schemes, because if you want to try to do that, it's not going to work out. And people don't understand that. They see all this big money, like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like it took me from, I think, like 4 or 6 months to actually get my first transaction. So those 6 months I was just paying without making any money, and I was paying like flyers, I was paying like my headshots, all that. It adds up super quickly. Like, for example, for you, like what was your startup cost? You didn't have like your onboarding fee, but
like about 3K.
Yeah.
So, like upfront.
Yeah. That I needed. So even like headshots, like for me, I got a professional headshot and I wanted to get a good one right off the bat. It was like $350 just for my like professional headshots and everything. They came out great, and I need to redo them because I don't look like that anymore. but like stuff like that is expensive, and you guys don't see that. But anyways, going back to what you were saying. Sorry, I wanted to talk about the fees. I thought that was important. What was your question?
I forgot.
You said that.
So basically, we're working for free until the deal closes.
Yeah.
So to like our listeners, not just because you see all these wins, and I feel like it's like a repeated thing that we have to say, not just because you see these wins, all this glamour, yeah, we get paid well, but if you're not closing deals, you're not getting paid. And people think like, oh, you don't have an hourly rate. No, we don't have an hourly rate. Yeah. We're commission, honey.
Yeah. And some people don't consider that. Some clients, they're just like, oh, that's your job, right? But then sometimes they'll fire you. It happened to me where I had this girl. I got her everything. I would go to her house, pick up her tax returns, whatever the lender needed, because she didn't have a scanner, and I do everything for her. And guess what? She fired me because I wasn't available to show houses that she didn't qualify for.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, girl, you don't qualify for them. And I tell her, like, you don't qualify for them. Why do you want to see it? Oh, well, it looks nice. And I'm like, I understand that you think they're nice, but they're not in your budget. Even if we go and we show up, they're not in your budget. Actually, one, they're out of your budget. Two, we're in a seller's market. So you're going to have to offer more, and you don't even have that money. So she fired me. She hired another agent, and I did look it up. It was a brand new agent. She did close, and actually it was with my lender. The lender that I helped, the application that I helped gather, and I did everything. I didn't get anything out of it, right? So I worked with her for like about a year. She hired another agent. I don't think she even knows till this day that agent, it was her first transaction. So obviously she had all the time in the world because she didn't have any other clients. Yeah. Like for me, I have other clients, right? And I do tell people up front, hey, you know what? I have other clients. And if I have time and you want to see a house that's out of your price range, I'll show it to you if I have time. But if I'm busy with other clients, guess what? We're not going to go see it. Unless you can show me that you can qualify for it, I'm not going to do that anymore. So yeah, so like people like her, I'm like, she didn't, I spent hours. It was like me and my other co-agent. We spent hours showing her houses. She didn't take that into consideration. We didn't get paid anything. Nope.
Yeah.
Not even a referral or anything like that. And it sucks to say, right? You're watching. You're like probably like, oh yeah, well, that's your job. It is our job, and we understand what we signed up for. But it's also about just being like considerate, right? You don't have to like. I understand if you didn't like my style or whatever. Hey, you know what? Let's have a conversation. Maybe we can try to fix it because we already spent all that time. I would do that to somebody like, hey, hey, this is really not working out. But can you fix it? If you can't fix it, then let's move forward. But she was not understanding. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the reality of things.
Okay, my burning question: did she close at her price range?
She closed at her price range. Yeah, there was.
So, do you think it was just a matter of like being like more?
She just needed to be patient. But she didn't want to have any patience. I told her, I was like, hey, they'll come up and we'll see it. As soon as we get somebody in your price range, we'll go, you know. But she didn't want to wait. And she was like, boom, boom, boom. And, and I'm like, okay, well, and it's one of those things like I obviously, and honestly, I don't think she even knows or cares that,
How, like a quick tip. How do you spot the red flags early on?
With people that don't want to buy?
No, with people that are like buying but aren't just like, oh, Nayeli, show me this house because I saw it was on 123 Main Street and
Yeah.
it's like beautiful.
So I had this one buyer who was like, "Hey, I want to see this rehab." It was like 250 or something. And I'm like, "Okay, well, let me see your pre-approval or your proof of funds because or and actually not a pre-approval. This one said cash only." And I'm like and she's like, I do have it. I'll send it to you." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let me see it." And she never sent it to me. And then she's like, "Well, can we still go see it?" And I said, "No." This was when we were like in negative like 20-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, "Oh, what, can we still go see it?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm not going out in negative 20-degree weather when you don't have a pre-approval. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And and she never called me after that, and that's fine. But I was proud of myself because it's a boundary,
Yeah.
that, where I'm not, maybe if you don't think your time is valuable, then that's on you. But my time is valuable. My time is priceless. I could be spending it with my family.
Yeah.
I could be working on myself. I could be doing whatever it is, but I don't mind showing you a house as long as you're serious too. Like
Right.
because I respect your time, I expect you to respect my time.
No, yeah. And I feel like as real estate agents, you need to have a boundary, especially when you're starting off. Just like knowing and having that consultation with your clients. If you're not having a consultation with your clients, how do you expect to win? How are they going to know your expectations? How are they going to know the process? So you as an agent have to set that standard up front.
Yeah.
So down the road, you don't get fired.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's no mix up and you set the expectation. It's all about setting the expectation.
And even when you set the expectation like I did with that one girl, it didn't matter to her. Like literally we talked about it and we're like, "Hey, this market, blah, blah, blah." Nope. She's like one ear out the other.
And that's okay.
And some people are like that, but it's just, common courtesy, but yeah, it's fine.
So let's go on to social media because social media now is like the next big thing. So how do you stay relevant out there? I know for you personally, you are amazing. Like you post almost daily. No, you post almost every day.
I document my life.
And you post it all. You post your wins and you even post sometimes your loses.
Yeah.
But not everyone does that. So how do you think you stay relevant in social media?
So for me, I think it's being authentic. So I hate when people are like, "Oh, they only tell you what you want to hear." Like to me, it's like, "Hey, give it to me straight." Even if it hurts, even if it's uncomfortable. Like earlier, I just asked Aaron, I'm like, "Hey, tell me how my presentation went." We did yesterday. And he's like, "Well, maybe you could work on your PowerPoint." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Because I want to know. Give me the ugly. And I think that way I think it's also about being just like honest. Like, "Hey, we're busy. We're doing this." And I want to show people what I'm doing because I'm a real person. Even though like I'm a real estate agent, I have days where I don't want to get up. I have days where I don't want to do work, or I have days where I want to go and like have a drink, and I have a couple of drinks or whatever. I'm a regular person, even though I think people don't see that, and when they don't see that, I don't think they can identify with you. So for me, I think that's why people maybe are attracted to my page, is because like they can identify with me when I say I'm like, "Oh, I hate this," or or I'm talking about my cats, and like, so like stuff like that. I think it's just being like
Authentic. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I post a lot of like motivational stuff. Like I feel like I'm very,
I like your everything works out for
positive.
me. I love those.
Yeah. So I have a quote. It's like everything always works out for me because it does.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it does.
Yeah.
Even being here right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all about mindset, and if you have a goal in mind, like creative wise, I feel like that's where I kind of lack in social media. Like I don't have like a good branding yet.
I think that you just lack. I don't think that you don't have your Esme. That is your brand. I think for you, it's really that you are scared to post. You're like, "Oh, it has to be perfect." Like, no, you just have to post. Because I literally, if I picked at everything, a lot of the times I'm like, I don't like something in my video, I post it anyway. That's it. So I have a question for you. I have a question for you before we get going. So you're a younger agent, right? You're
Correct.
Younger.
Yes.
We're a lot younger than me, and so you have a leg up over other young people because for your age, you're super mature. You have a plan. You know where you're going, and I'm super impressed. So when I met you, that's what attracted me to you as far as like working with you in the future. Well, and you probably don't know that, but I look at that. So when I first met you, you were like, hey, you were kind of an asshole one night, but, which is it's fine. I'm very like dry. I'm not very like like I'm a little like I'm more soft on the inside. Like you have to like get through the little shell. But when I first met you, you were just like super bubbly and just like high and just like smiling, and I'm just like, okay, like, well, I don't know if this girl, like, she's smiling, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm like, she's smiling and she's happy or whatever, but what does that tell me? Can she work with my clients? Can she do showings for me? Is she gonna be responsible? Is she gonna show up?
Right.
And so once we started working together, I had to analyze that. And you're responsible, you show up, you're organized, you make your list, you're motivated, and you motivate me. So I'm like, okay, so then we can work together. And that's why I agreed to work with you, because I was like, okay, you showed me that you were not just a bubbly face. You showed me that there was more depth to you. And I really love that, because I think a lot of people don't understand that Esme is like bubbly and happy or whatever, but she's also responsible. She's on her stuff. And I really love that about you, because a lot of 20-something-year-old, 22-year-olds do not have the kind of work ethic that you do.
Stop. I'm about to go cry right now.
You can cry later.
Okay. So we kind of talk about the ugly, but now let's get into the beauty side. Why we still love it? Why are we still in the game? So even with all the mess that we wouldn't trade for anything, because that's what keeps our podcast going.
I know what you're talking about.
You'll trade real estate to do something else?
So I think, last year I actually wanted to quit. I was done. I was like, you know what? This is trash. It's trash. And but it was just because I wasn't doing the things. I was doing what my company said I should do. And I figured out that because it's a different culture. As being Hispanic, we're more warm, more social. Like, it's a different culture, and that whatever works for them did not work for me. And so after I realized that we're different people, and I had to stop fighting what the reality that it was, like, we're different like culture. Then I started doing the same things that I was doing before, and now this year has been going really great, because I'm doing other things that I usually do. Instead of following like a guidebook, which you should maybe find a guidebook if you don't know what you're doing. But I just started doing what felt right for me.
So that's the beauty side of it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty, because what I love about real estate is that I can run it however I want to. So I can be as as social as I want. I can be antisocial. I can do whatever, and it's my business. I put my hours. I like this. You were like, hey, let's do a podcast. Let's do it. That's I could say yes to things, and then I can also say no to things that I don't want to do. And that's the beauty of real estate. But it's also about helping families and knowing that I'm helping people who've never owned a home buy their first home. And knowing that because they bought their first home, their family is in turn going to buy their own home. Like, the kids are going to say, hey, I remember like the lady that sold us a real estate, Yeah. And it's a like a really like, I feel like warm inside and, happy, because it's just, I remember my parents, helping my parents. And I always cry at most closings. A lot of clients don't know that, but I usually cry. Like, because I'm so happy that, I was able to be a part of it, What about you?
I cry too.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I close, I get a little emotional.
Yeah.
Just because it takes me back to, like, my first transaction.
Yeah.
And my first transaction was my family.
Mm-hmm.
They were helped by a few different agents, and none of them was able to help them.
Really?
Yeah.
What the heck?
And I just remember my parents being so devastated and everything. So, like, the beauty for, like, me is, like, helping those families that were rejected once.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, setting up a game plan. Okay, you don't qualify right now. That's okay. Don't worry. I still got you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not just going to be thrown out the window. Yeah. No. We're going to set a plan. Our lender is great. And we set that plan for them, and we keep following up with them.
Okay.
And that way, they don't forget about me, and I don't forget about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really love that. All right.
So, yeah.
So, I guess to close up,
if you're thinking about getting into real estate, just know it's not all keys and cute closings. It's about grind and growth, and it's real.
And if you're looking for a brokerage to join or a group, so we're a group that you can join, and we have our masterminds on every Monday, and we're looking to help people. Because we want to help people because, well, for me, I didn't get the help that I needed when I got my license. So for you, you know what it takes to hold somebody's hand and do it over because you got the help. So we can identify what you need and we can help you because we've been there. We've been there and we're still going through it and we're still learning every day. And we're working on being better agents every single day.
And then sometimes you just need a buddy because you're the CEO of your own company. Like this, whether you like it or not, you're your own CEO. Yeah. No one, your whole life, for the most part, you've always been told what to do. You get to a job, you're like, okay, you're being trained, you're going to do this, this, and this. When you get into real estate, nobody's telling you what to do. Like, nobody's telling you, oh, you need to get up, you need to make 20 calls, you need to post on social media, you need to blah, blah, blah. You need to do all of these things. No one's telling you that. But, yeah, if you want to join a group that you've, like, because we're a community.
Yeah.
So if you want to feel connected and motivated by other successful agents like us, by all means, let's connect.
Yes. Give us a call.
With that being said, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.